So today we're talking about Sebastian, which is a drama following Max, a young writer who embarks on a double life as a sex worker to research his debut novel. He was nominated, the lead actor, for Best Breakthrough Performance at the British Independent Film Awards, and the film premiered at Sundance, and it recently screened at the London Film Festival a few months back as well. Raj is here, we are Boys on Film. Oh, this is going to be such a good one to talk about, because this is one of those films that just totally engrosses you as a viewer. Max is an aspiring writer, 25, living in London, works at magazines, on the verge of finding success in the local literary scene. By night, though, he moonlights as a sex worker to research his debut novel, but what begins as a series of meetings soon evolves into a secret nocturnal life as his alter ego, who he calls Sebastian. This is so interesting, and this is a real slice of life movie as well, because I know we've talked about slice of life type movies before. I think this is part of it. I think the director's Finnish, but it was obviously filmed in London, and I love films that are filmed in London that show that nightlife side as well, because so many times that I've been in these locations, I know where that is, and I find that fascinating.
A lot of slice of life films set in London or surrounding areas feel really one tone, but this had a lot of different layers to it, which I quite liked. And yeah, I totally agree with you, like seeing all the locations and be like, oh, I know where that is. Oh, I know where that is. Like, you know, really even drew me into the film, where it felt very real. When we first started to watch the film, you saw it before me, you're just like, oh, they get right into the filth straight away, and I started laughing. So I was like, okay, well that must mean that it's Phil approved, or at least a nice funny observation. And yeah, I started to watch the film, and I'm like, yep, filth straight away.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily a film that you'd watch with your parents, your family, your grandmother. No, I mean, it's out there, but I think it's a film that needs to be, because it's obviously, you know, really central to the storyline. The story about him having those two lives in a way. You know, he's a very determined writer, and he's being inspired by his life as a sex worker in the evenings as Sebastian. So I found that really fascinating, because I think he was somebody that was learning a lot from his work, both angles, you know, both parts of both jobs. When he meets the character who's the older man who has obviously had life experience, and he's at only 25. I wouldn't say he's naive though by any means, because I think he's quite switched on, isn't he, in a lot of ways?
Yeah, and then immediately, I know you would probably mention this too, but you start getting like, oh, it must be a Harold and Maude type of situation. And they even reference that in the film. Like they even say, oh, it's all a bit Harold and Maude, isn't it? It went to a place I didn't expect it to go. And after watching the film, I kind of got like a visual of a Venn diagram in my head. Like, you know, there's like the sex worker circle, and then there's like the literary career circle, and then there's this like, who am I actually attracted to, what is my sexuality circle, and that was like in the middle of the Venn diagram. Like, that's the sweet spot of the movie. And it's kind of like anything, when, you know, you do more than one thing in life, where, you know, you have a couple different careers, or you're multifaceted. It's like when you're able to blend everything together, like that's really where you find true happiness. And I don't know, that's kind of what I thought of the film after seeing it. It's very Venn diagrammy.
And it's interesting you use the word layered, because that was a word that I wrote down to remind myself what to talk about in this review, because so many times we've seen films about, you know, sex workers, and even read stories about sex workers, and that fiction is tending to veer off in a kind of dramatic, not overly dramatic, but very dark world. And although this film does touch on that, I think there's a lot of beauty in this film as well, and it is different to stuff we've seen before, because the relationships that we're building in Max's life, especially with the older gentleman as well, that showed that Max was learning more, and also kind of craving more as well as a person, because his sex work, I think, had shown, you know, personalities and that need for a relationship. And I was kind of wondering, oh, is this going to be, you know, is this going to be his next relationship? And it doesn't always go where you think it's going to go. But I found that really refreshing.
Yeah, it wasn't predictable by any means. And there's this one scene in the film where I really felt for the character when the character was abroad on a job, and then basically gets, I don't know, thrown out on the street for whatever reason. And I kept thinking, like, how's that kid going to get home? Like, what's he going to do? Like, it was really like thrown in the deep end into a world he's kind of familiar with, but it really kind of shows like the human reaction of, what would something traumatic like that be like. So I was really like, I felt like I was right there with him. I was worried about, did he steal his passport? What's happening?
Absolutely, yeah. Because I was found like with some films in the past about sex workers, they kind of disconnect that feeling personality thing, and it's very kind of wham bam, almost like they're just doing the job and they're not connecting with the people that they're with. So I found that really uplifting, and yeah, like I say, original, because I think this film was quite sensitive.
Yeah, definitely.
So star rating for Sebastian, I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was a 4-star for me. I thought the performances were really good. The direction was really intriguing, and it's a story that I wanted to find out more about. Wanted to find out more what the characters were doing, and then, I was gripped till the end.
Absolutely, same for me. 4 stars. It's a movie I would add to my Blu-ray collection.
Yeah, definitely want to keep. Yeah, so it's released in UK and Irish cinemas on the 4th of April. Let us know if you're seeing Sebastian. Drop a comment down below. Don't forget to check out our previous review, which is on the screen now. I'll see you soon, Raj. We've got plenty of work to do with the BFI Flair Film Festival this year.
Yeah, I got to get to some screeners, so let's go.
Come on, work.